Hey there! Great to have you back for another exciting lesson in our Food Odyssey journey, the third one of our Module 2 about food system sustainability. So, in our last lesson, we talked about why food systems can be seen as one of the big polluters in the world, and therefore perpetrators. During today's session, instead, we're flipping the script. We're going to explore how, at the same time, food systems are actually some of the first victims of the tough climate change we're dealing with. It's like they're on both sides of the problem. Therefore, at the end of this lesson, you will be able to, first, understand how climate crises affect the sustainability of food systems on economic, social, and environmental level. Second, understand the intricate and controversial relationship between food systems and the climate crisis. Indeed, climate change affects agriculture and therefore food systems in various ways. From an environmental point of view, it posing challenges to livestock as well as to crop yields. Increases in temperature and carbon dioxide levels can initially boost crop yields in some regions, but this is contingent upon adequate soil moisture, nutrient levels, and other conditions. Moreover, changes in the frequency and severity of extreme events such as droughts, floods, and wildfires can disrupt farming practices, jeopardizing food security. Furthermore, rising temperatures can affect the distribution and abundance of pests, diseases, and fungi, requiring increased efforts and resources to combat them. Moreover, various factors such as sea level rise and irregular rainfall contribute to the process of soil salinization. But unfortunately, there's more. As global temperatures and sea levels rise, the result is way more than heat waves, droughts, floods, cyclones, and wildfires. In fact, from a social point of view, those conditions make it difficult for farmers to grow food and for the hungry to get it. Extreme weather is therefore a driver of world hunger. Climate crisis is indeed food crisis. The climate crisis is in fact affecting all the 6 components of food security, impacting our food systems, from production to consumption. The scale of the current global hunger and malnutrition crisis is enormous. The World Food Programme estimates that more than 333 million people are facing acute levels of food insecurity in 2023 and do not know where their next meal is coming from. This constitutes a staggering rise of almost 200 million people compared to pre-COVID-19 pandemic levels. The climate crisis is one of the leading causes of the steep rise in global hunger. Climate shocks destroy lives, crops, and livelihoods, and undermine people's ability to feed themselves. Hunger will spiral out of control if the world fails to take immediate climate action. And unfortunately, that's not all. If we consider the impact of climate change on agriculture and food production, such as the decline in corn and wheat production due to extreme weather events, plant diseases, and a global water crisis, it logically follows that people's access to food would also decrease. The simple instance of supply and demand, however, has big impacts. If one part of the food system is interrupted due to a climate event, big or small, that can lead to inflation. These price spikes leave the poorest families most vulnerable. One study shows, as you can see from the graph here, that people living in urban areas under the poverty line spend up to 75% of their budget on food alone. It is therefore necessary to introduce another concept, that is the climate justice one. Climate justice focuses on the unequal impacts of climate change on marginalized or otherwise vulnerable populations, and is also connected, therefore, to the concept of food justice, that instead has the aim to ensure universal access to nutritious, affordable, and culturally appropriate food for all. Again, guess what? Food and climate interconnected. Another proof of these invisible strings between climate and food justice are the climate migrants. If it is true that the impacts of climate change are being felt all over the world and thus climate-related migration occurs globally, it is important to see that the impacts are unequal, and the most severe migration and displacement is often occurring in low and middle-income countries that have made little historical contribution to warming the planet. Climate migrants' reasons for migration are factors climate-related, such as floods, drought, and extreme temperatures that cause decreased agricultural productivity, water scarcity, and therefore food insecurity. Again, food systems and food drivers, like the main ones that shape individual choices as well as societal, environmental, and economic patterns. The IOM indeed predicts that by 2050, there could be anywhere from 44 million to 216 million climate migrants. Moreover, another aspect to consider is the economic one, and that often climate crisis means also a reduced economic well-being of who cultivate and produce food for all, farmers. According to the Farmer Voice, a survey conducted between 800 farmers in 8 different countries, what farmers said was both surprising and inspiring. 71% of farmers say that climate change already has a large impact on their farm, and even more are worried about the impact this will have in the future. 73% have experienced increasing pest and disease pressure. On average, farmers estimate that their incomes had reduced by 15.7% due to climate change in the past 2 years. 1 in 6 farmers even identifies income losses of over 25% during this period. I know the scenario is not so promising, but wait. Today we've dived into the victim aspect of food systems in the face of the climate crisis, following our exploration of their role as perpetrators in the previous lesson. Understanding both sides of this complex relationship is crucial as we navigate the challenges posed by a changing climate, but it's clear that this cannot be the end. Moving forward, our focus will shift towards a more optimistic and proactive outlook. In our next and unfortunately last lesson, we'll explore why food systems can also serve as vital solutions and positive contributors to mitigating the climate crisis. So come on, what are you waiting for? See you in the last step of this food system sustainability journey. Bye!